That's a cardinal. Anyways, the sun is somewhat in my eyes, as you can see from the reflection of my glasses. I've been meaning to do this video. Do you just hear all the birds? Okay. I've been meaning to do this video for a little while because I was going to go live on Saturday. But going live is very hard in my life right now because I have a baby. And I can't plan things like that because Saturday is the day that I go to work and the time just got away from me and it's just a whole thing. The birds are very distracting because I love birds. But anyways, I wanted to talk about a couple things and hopefully my phone doesn't die because I think I'm on like 20%. I wanted to talk about, I keep getting things on Instagram, positivity, manifestation, and how you have control over your life and you are not a product of your environment. Or you don't have to be. The thing is about being more positive in your life affects you in so many different ways that I think a lot of people fail to forget. When you try to be positive more often, it really does affect your mood. I've been working on myself for several months for a couple of reasons that I just don't even, I don't know. I lost both of my maternal grandparents last year, very close together, and it just kind of really changes who you are. My family is very close, so it's just been a huge change for a lot of things. And I just, ever since, feel like I've been a very different person and I've been led to things through my angels, and I truly believe like my grandparents have guided me to a lot of things, like books from my grandma, and it's just led me on this even more spiritual path. I've always felt like I'm a pretty spiritual person, but it's always kind of been like, you know, the universe and all that stuff. Where is he? Oh my gosh, this cardinal's like, sorry. Y'all know, if you know me personally, you know how distracted I get. My dogs are gonna bark now. So basically, being more positive can help you with a lot of things, but it really does change your life and how you look at things and how much it makes you really realize like how much stupid stuff people get mad about, or like they're just negative for no reason. Like, you don't have to be negative, and being negative is honestly a choice that we fail to realize is a choice. I feel like this video is going to be a little lengthy, but a lot of people said they would watch it, so here we are. Like, for instance, instead of automatically thinking that you are always right, and whoever you're arguing with, family member, your boyfriend, a stranger, sometimes it's just easier to just try to see something from their perspective instead of automatically thinking that you're right, because everyone's life is different and everyone's raised different and everyone's culture is different and everyone reacts differently to different things. So just because your opinion is different doesn't make you right, and it doesn't make them right. It doesn't make any of us right, really, because we're all living our own truths. So the thing with that is that you basically can agree to disagree with whoever you want, but in the long run, it doesn't make either one of you right. So if you just look at things more positively, like, okay, well, I can see why this person reacted this way to this because they were raised like this, or this happened to them when they were younger, or etc., etc. Even though it's not your truth and it's not how you would react. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm just like rambling. But basically I'm saying just be more positive and realize that the way that you react to things and the way that you carry yourself and your attitude towards things has a huge, huge, huge impact on everything in your life. Since I've been more positive and I can look at the bright side of things, like let's see, if I'm running late to something, which happens more often than you would think now, because I used to be super early to things, I honestly feel like I was truly delayed for a reason. Something bad might have happened if I would have left when I wanted to leave. If I wanted to leave at 7:30 and I don't leave until 7:45, I feel like it happened that way because it was meant to happen that way, and I was being prevented from being in a car accident, or I don't know, just being in a bad situation to begin with. One of the dogs has something in their mouth. I think it's... Stop! Hey! So anyways, I feel like I'm getting really off track with that. There's so many things that I'm getting distracted by. And the way that you react to things, it's like, okay. For instance, sometimes people get overstimulated, and it's understandable because some of us have sensory issues. And I know that, like, let's say things are like super cluttered, or if I come downstairs in the morning and the dishes haven't been done, I have to do the dishes before I can do any other part of my morning routine, because I feel like it's just adding on to the piles of things. I don't know how to explain that, but it's just like, if there's too much stuff everywhere, I have to clean it up so that I can truly focus on what I need to do. So I feel like I'm getting off track, but that was just an example of something. So sometimes when people get overstimulated, they get very anxious and very irritated. The thing to do about that, instead of letting it get away from you, like let your emotions get away from you, is you take control of the situation. You say, okay, what is actually truly bothering me right now for me to get so irritated or so upset? It's very important for you to pinpoint these things, because, like, for instance, I'll use this as an example. Months and months ago, before I started changing my life, or changing the way I react to things, or changing my attitude, or the way that I see things, I had my son last February, and sometimes I would get super irritated with my boyfriend for playing video games. But then I had to realize it wasn't the video games that were bothering me, or him playing the video games. It was because I felt like he could do that and I wasn't getting to do the things that I wanted to do, which mostly was like things like going to the gym, or like just like little things like that, because I know this is weird, but like that's fun for me. Like, I love to go to the gym. Endorphins make you happy, whatever. So the fact that I'm able to go through my emotions and say, okay, what's really bothering me right now, and why is that bothering me? That's super important. I feel like a lot of people don't do that. I feel like you jump to that emotion and you react on it instantly. That's not a very healthy thing to do, because in the long run, you're beating yourself down with all of these emotions, and you're making yourself feel worse and overwhelmed and anxious and stressed and irritated, and you're feeding off of that. So then your whole day is ruined because you didn't step back for a second and take a breath and say, okay, why am I upset? What is triggering me right now? Because we all need to do that. And I do that all the time now. So anyways, come here. My dog's being weird. Where did she go? Okay, so I'm gonna have to splice that together. Shut my dog in the garage. Not on purpose. I'm sorry, girl. So, oh gosh, that threw me for a loop right there. Let's move on. Let's talk about how you are not a product of your environment, or you don't have to be, and you are in control, girlfriend. You are in control. Okay, so a lot of the times, people fail to recognize or realize that You don't have to be the way that you are because your parents were a certain way. You don't have to be like that. You can like mentally choose to change that about yourself. Doesn't mean it's going to happen overnight, but you can work on yourself. You can work on it. Breathe, girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? So, for instance, the whole story where there was a father that was an alcoholic. He had 2 sons. Both grew up. One was an alcoholic. The other one wasn't. The alcoholic son always said, well, I'm an alcoholic because my father was an alcoholic. And the other one that was not an alcoholic said, well, I'll never drink or be an alcoholic because my father was an alcoholic. So therein lies the truth of the choice. You have the choice to change your life or change your course. You do not have to be what your parents were. And I really don't like the blame game, so I don't like the whole, oh, well, my father was an alcoholic, so I'm an alcoholic. No, that's an excuse. And I'm sorry if that bothers anybody, but to me, that's an excuse. And by the way, this is just an example. That's not like exactly what I'm saying, but like, that's like saying my dad's an alcoholic, sorry. My dad's a diabetic, so I'm going to be a diabetic. That's not exactly how that works. So, I was like trying to think of another example because the alcoholic thing is always like my number one go-to because it's like really true. You have the choice to change. You have the control to change. You have the control to steer your life in another direction or to get onto another path. So it's just like really irritating when people just kind of blame other people for their problems and their shortcomings instead of getting a hold of themselves and getting a hold of their life and like getting to the problem or to the issue and trying to resolve that or trying to get help to resolve that or change that about themselves if they truly want to. You can't say, I mean, you can say whatever you want, but in the long run, you're the one with the problem. And when you blame other people, it's kind of like just really irritating because is that other person like, oh, well, no, that's not a good example. I don't know what I'm saying, but stop blaming other people for your problems. Work through your problems, become the bigger person, the better person, become a better version of yourself because you have the ability to do that. The world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want with it. Let's move on because this is going to be a long video, or it's probably, at least since I had to start this section over, except I'm going to have to put things together, it's going to be long-ish. Manifestation. Manifestation is basically the whole theory where what you put out into the world you get back, or like if treat people the way you want to be treated kind of thing, or like that's a example. But basically, if the morning before you have an interview, you just are convinced, you've just convinced yourself that you're gonna end up being late because you're late for everything. So you're gonna be late, you're gonna be late, you're gonna be late, you're gonna be late. So then what happens? You're late. When if you would have gave yourself a pep talk and be like, I'm gonna be on time, I'm gonna be early, I'm gonna be 15 minutes early. I'm gonna be 15 minutes early for sure. I know I'm gonna be 15 minutes early. You instill that, you put it out into the universe, and guess what? You're probably 30 minutes early, girlfriend, because you prepared mentally for it. You put it out there and it came back to you because you were trying to be positive. Which, see how this whole positivity thing comes back with the manifestation, because you can manifest negativity and you can manifest positivity in your life, or you can manifest abundance and you can manifest lack. Whatever you focus on in your life is what's going to happen. If you're always worried that you will never have enough, you won't have enough. You will never have enough because that's all you are consumed with in your thoughts and putting it out there, that you're never gonna have money. You're never gonna have enough money. You don't have money for this. You don't have $5 for lunch. Then you're not gonna have $5 for lunch. You ain't gonna have lunch for the whole week because you can't afford it because you manifested all this lack in your life. And or like you're always worried about getting bills in the mail. Guess what you're gonna get? You're gonna get bills. So start thinking, I'm gonna get a check in the mail. What are you gonna get a check for? I don't know, because I don't. But that's not something I'm trying to manifest. I mean, not saying I wouldn't manifest that, but I don't know. It's just a whole thing. So it's super important that you pay attention to the way that you speak and your words and like what you say to yourself, what you say out loud when you're talking to yourself, when you talk to other people and your conversations and your thoughts. Very important. When you say you can't do something, why do you think you're going to be able to do it later on then? Or why are you going to wonder why you couldn't do it? Because you literally manifested the fact that you can't do something. When in reality, the world is your oyster. You can do whatever your heart desires, honey boo boo. You can do whatever your heart desires. Your angels have your back. Ask for help. Be appreciative. Say thank you. Abundance will increase tenfold. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, girl. It's just important you pay attention to your thoughts and your attitude, and just these are things that you should pay attention to. You can't get all wrapped up and your day be ruined because the guy cut you off on the interstate, and you can't let it consume you because it's not important. It does not really truly affect your life unless you get in a car accident. Even then, you could just be like super nice. I mean, I don't know. I'm just not a mean, aggressive person. And a lot of you that actually know me know that I'm like probably one of the nicest people you've ever met in your life. Because I always worry about how my actions are going to affect other people. Because I mean, in a perfect world, I would hope that y'all would feel that way. Like, oh, but if I do this, it's going to hurt Alexis's feelings. Well, I sure do appreciate that, girlfriend. Like, it would honestly, like, I was going to say touch my heart to know that somebody actually truly cared about how I felt. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm just super nice like that. This is super long. I just want to help and inspire you guys, especially those who are struggling day to day to make it through your day. And I just hope that you all know that you can always message me and talk. And I don't want you to feel awkward about it. And if some of this doesn't make sense or you'd like me to go more in depth, please feel free to message me. I would love to hear from you. I'm just really hoping to inspire some of you to live a more calm, compassionate, kind life, more spiritual, because this life is just filled with abundance if you just let it into your, let it in. Let the angels in. Let them help you. You are so abundantly blessed and you don't even know it because you just think the world's against you, and that's not even the half of it. And I don't care if you believe in God or whatever, but girl, let me tell you, there are so much bigger things out there than us. There's that dang cardinal again. Where is he at? I got glasses on, but I'm blind, right? Oh, it's right there. But I can't flip the thing around. All right, well, that's my sign from my angels that I came, I saw, I conquered, and I helped inspire some of you, and I did what I was supposed to do. I love you guys, and you are so beautiful, and you are a divine being of the universe, and you can do whatever your heart desires, and just be more positive. Be more positive.